Welcome back to Young Tutor. Today we'll be starting up with the new topic perimeter and area. Last time we learned about a large topic of rational numbers and all the other number systems. This time we'll be taking up perimeter and area. So what is perimeter? Perimeter is nothing but the outline of a shape, the distance totaled up of all the outlines. For example, let's take this simple looking rectangle. Might not be the best drawing, but okay. Let's take this rectangle. The perimeter of this rectangle, let's take this to be equal to L, which means this is equal to L, and this equal to B, which means this is also equal to B. So the best way to derive what is the formula to find out the perimeter of a rectangle, we can use just this simple reference. As I just said, all the total of all the sides of the shape, the distance of all the sides is equal to the perimeter. So which means that perimeter of this rectangle, which has length L and breadth B, is nothing but equal to L. The perimeter of this is equal to L plus B plus L plus B. Okay. Now you can see that there are two L's and two B's, which means we can again rewrite this in 2L plus 2B. This is a part of algebra which we learn, which says that if there's the same number of variables which have same number of same variables, or a number of same variables, then we can group all those variables and add the total number of variables at the start, which is what we have done. So as there's 2L's, we made it 2L, which we can equate this again because there are two again. So we can remove the 2 and keep it aside. We can use distributive property as we've learned, and 2L plus B. This is nothing but the simpler formula of the perimeter of a rectangle. This is the perimeter of a rectangle. Now let's see what could be a perimeter for a square. So let's see what it could be for a square. For a square, all we are taking is this is an approximate square. We'll take the side to be A because it's easier to reference with the first letter of the alphabet. So we'll take A on all sides, because all four sides of a square are equal. So if we take the side of a square to be equal to A, then we know that it is equal. The perimeter of area is nothing but the total of all four sides. As there are four sides, we can write this as A plus A plus A plus A. 4 A's, therefore we can also write this as 4A. This is the perimeter of a square. Now we've understood what could be perimeter. So we'll try to simplify this by just giving some values to L, B and A. Let's start with, for L, first let's erase all of this, because we've understood what is the rectangle's formula and what is the formula for a square. So now let's get started with the values. Let's take the example for the values of a rectangle to be equal. So now let's take the length of let's take the rectangle's example itself. So we've learned that the rectangle's perimeter is equal to 2 into L plus B. This is which we've already learned and saw how does the 2 into L plus B come from. Now let's take an example to understand this better. Let's take the length of this rectangle to equal to 7 and the breadth equal to 3. So it will automatically become, as opposite sides are equal, so it will become 7 equal to 7, 3 equal to 3. now let's so if you remember, 7 is now equal to L, or L is equal to 7 and B is equal to 3. Remember this, as we can apply this over here itself. So if you can keep this formula in mind, and remember that always the shorter side is most normally the breadth, and the longer side is most probably and always the length. So if you take this, we can apply it in the same way. 2 into 7 L, so it will be 7 plus 3, so it will be B is 3. So we can write, so you can see how we've simplified it. Instead of writing 7 plus 3 plus 7 plus 3, so we can make, instead of writing 7 plus 3 plus 7 plus 3, we can instead write it in a simpler version in just 3 characters instead of the other one, which was very long. This is of course equal to 2. So as we can see, 2 into 10, which is equal to 20. This is an example for a rectangle. Now let's move over to a square. We've taken the value of a square to be equal to A, which we will equate for A equal to 8. So let's if we take A equal to 8, all the sides equal to 8. Now if you remember, we've taken the squares formula to be A 4A. 1 second. A, as we've taken it to be 4A. So if the value for the square is 4A, then we can, as we've seen that the A is equal to 8, so we can write this as 4 into 8, which is way easier than 2 into L plus B, but also it's a formula which we've taken up. 4A is equal to 4 into 8, A, which is equal to 32. Now you can see that these are individual units. So if we take this is equal to 3 units, correct? So we can see that this is equal to 3 units in the sense the rectangle is divided into 3 rows, and the rectangle is also divided into 7 different columns. So it's of course very unevenly spread, but it's again one representation. So let's just erase all the squares for now, and we'll first focus on this rectangle itself. We'll keep the same borders for L and for B and L, that is length and breadth. So now you can see that there's a grid that's formed for both 7 and 3 for the rectangle in total. So we have divided the rectangle into smaller rectangular sized shapes, which means we have divided this and formed some unit squares inside it. Each of these, it might look unequal, but it's okay. When you actually take a graph paper and try to draw the same thing, that is of 7 units and 3 units, we can see that each square is equal to 1 centimeter of height. Therefore each of these are equal to, let's take it as in centimeter formula. So each of these are equal to centimeters, that is 7 centimeter and 3 centimeter. So let's move over to area now, which we have already started. Area. So what is area? Area is nothing but the total area that the rectangle covers on a certain surface. That is, if we take the board as the surface, how much area of the board does this rectangle cover? So if we just imagine that the board is nothing but a set of horizontal lines and vertical lines, that is forms a graph, then we can also take that the rectangle forms a certain unit on the board, or a certain area of the board is taken up just to cover this amount of space. So we can also tell this to find out the exact area. All we have to do for a rectangle is to multiply the rectangle's length with the rectangle's breadth, which means all we have to do is L into B. Or we can write this in this situation as 7 into 3 equal to 21 which is normally unit square, but in this case the unit is centimeter, so it's centimeter square. We can tell we can also prove this by saying that if you count the number of squares in this section, we can see that there's actually 7 on this side and 3 on this side. Again 7 and 7 plus 7 plus 7, which is also 21. Now let's see what is it for a square. For a square, let's take the same dimensions we took earlier, which was, let's take a little smaller dimension because this shape is a little smaller. Let's take 4. So if we take 4, we can divide this one square into 4 segments this way, and as all sides are equal, now we can see that this is a 4 by 4 area. That means this whole board has been on the board, the square takes up a certain 4 by 4 section of the whole board's area, which means that to figure out this thing's area, the square's area, that is, all we have to do is multiply this side with this side, or practically any two sides we have to multiply. There's no specific length or breadth mentioned for a side, as we have taken it as the value for one side to be equal to a, as we have taken it earlier. Therefore, in this case, as a is equal to 4, we already know the perimeter of the shape, which is 4 into 4 or 16. But another astounding thing to listen to is that if we take the same 4 and put it here, all we have to do is square the 4. That is, if we remember about the powers and exponents, we have to just add the square. I've taught about little about this in the titration short video which we have made. 4 squared, which is nothing but 4 into 4, which is 16. If you remember, now we just learned, I just told you that this shapes of exact size is perimeter is equal to 4, and therefore the perimeter is equal to 16, which means this shape's area and perimeter are both equal. This happens rarely. Not all squares have the same perimeter and area. Now now it's time for homework. If you watched till this point, then thank you for watching. But just before you leave, we'll start up with a small closing like topic called the homework, which we do every time. For the homework for everyone today, we will be taking up a very small simple homework for you all. First, I want everyone to find, whoever wants to do the homework, please find the value, find the area and perimeter of a rectangle whose length is 13 centimeter and breadth is 8 centimeter. So I have already told you the formula. I'll just hint it here. That is 2 into L plus B, which is the perimeter's formula, and L into B, which is the area's formula. So these are the formulas just applied, as we already know L and B's value. Now for the square, find the area of the square whose each side is equal to 11 centimeter. So as we have taken the value for side as A is equal to 11 centimeter. A is equal to 11 centimeter. The value for perimeter to find for a square is 4a, and to find the area for a square we have to use a square. So you can, as we already know the value for the variable a, we can do this very easily. Thank you for watching, everyone. Comment the answers down below. And if you like the video, then also hit the like button and comment down below the answers. Subscribe and share the video also. subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching.